you do many things. I don't know how you got to where you got to, which is what we're going to discuss. But you now currently own your own company, Barre Effect, correct? You're married, and you are a mother of 3 kids.
Yes.
Which is supremely impressive. So you have a lot on your plate, and you have how many instructors at your
Now
studio?
we're a group of 10.
10. So okay, so you have 13 kids.
Yeah.
Technically, with all your okay.
And a dog.
And a dog. Okay. What got you to do Bar Effect, your company?
Sure. I've been teaching bar now just over 15 years. So I started in New York, and then I've been in Dubai now 11 years teaching bar.
Okay.
And I was teaching bar for a studio, and then COVID hit. And as we know, COVID affected so many businesses, especially fitness.
Yeah.
And the studio was then going to be closing down.
Okay.
But we were a few very talented bar instructors, so we needed a place to go.
Okay.
So I also pulled other fitness instructors that I knew from other studios, or other times I'd worked with them, and from there I started working on Barre Effect.
And people, in case people don't know what bar is, I describe it as a mixture of like ballet, yoga, a bit of Pilates, and but it's how would you describe it? Is that right? I mean,
yeah, bar is a low impact strength training method that combines cardio, dance, yoga, Pilates, and other strength training forms.
Okay.
So there's similar to yoga or Pilates, it's a very wide term, but I would say at Barre Effect we make things a bit more athletic versus balletic or dance.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's not easy. I've done many classes. That's how I met my wife, but it's not an easy class to do.
For sure.
And it's really cool. Okay. How did you get into bar? What did you do before that? Were you always in fitness or dance or?
I grew up as a ballet dancer, and then I went to university for dance.
Okay.
And then after I graduated, I moved to New York, and I was auditioning and training with different dance companies. And then at that time, to supplement my income, I started teaching bar, and most of the bar instructors were also dancers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was really flexible because, if we had training, let's say from 10 to 5, I would sometimes teach 6, 7, 8 a.m. and then go to training. So it was a really flexible way. Yeah, it was pretty, the New York hustle.
Yeah.
So I was teaching fitness, and then they were opening in Dubai and asked if I was interested to help launch the first international studio.
Okay.
So then I moved to Dubai 11 years ago.
Where did you study?
I started at SUNY Purchase in Westchester, New York.
Okay.
And then I transferred to George Mason University in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
So it was ballet and contemporary dance.
Okay. And you're originally from Maryland?
Yes,
right?
Baltimore.
Baltimore, that's right. How old did you start?
I started at 8, which is, I did sports growing up, and then around 8 or 9 is when I got serious in dance, which is a bit later than most professionals. But I think like any Olympian or athlete, they do it so effortlessly. But then when you realize all of the training that goes into it, the discipline, same thing with dance, it's super intense.
And it's competitive, no? Because there's only, there's only, not only one Swan Lake, but there's only one lead in each, and it's everyone that's trying to do that. So, how often were you auditioning when you were in New York?
Especially in New York.
Yeah.
New York, any major city. So I was training with companies, and then I would go to auditions, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
But I remember, I auditioned for the New York Rockettes.
Okay.
And it was wintertime. It was very cold, and I had to get in line at 5 a.m.
For an audition?
And I was one of 500 girls. So
for how many spots?
40 or 50.
Only 10%, less than 10% making
So, and that doesn't include the girls that were previously Rockettes as well. So it's very competitive. It's not for everyone. And with me, I was only in New York 4 years, and I was doing smaller projects. I was having a great time, but I didn't have my break, and in order to become a professional, you have to die for it. It has to be the only thing you think about. You have to be that 1%. And for me, I actually found fulfillment in fitness, the athleticism. So I realized, I love dance, but I also love fitness. And to be at that level of professional dancer, you have to be like single-minded towards it.
Yeah,
So it's
completely focused. I've spoken to people who tried to be Olympians and they didn't make it, but they tried for not just 4 years, for a couple of times they tried, and they said after a while that enough is enough. But they were singly focused on that. Christmases, holidays, weekends, their families. They weren't married. That's the only focus. Nothing else matters except that.
Yeah.
And that's great if they have that drive and they want that. But then, you have a void, or for me anyway, you'd have a void that you're missing out on a few things in life.
A bit more balance. Some people, this is their passion and this is what they want to do. But I try to always find a bit more balance in life.
There's a lot of disappointment because you're not if you're going for 2-3 auditions, that's 150 a year. How many of what's the percentage that you get?
Yeah, pretty low.
Yeah, and then how do you deal with rejection as a way? How do you deal with that? Because
you get used to it. You have to, and you just have to keep pushing on. One audition I started the audition on a Monday, and then they asked me to continue. So I actually had to take off teaching. I had to lose my income for the rest of the week to go each day to audition. So I went every day. They were looking for one person. I made it down to the top 8. I didn't get it. And then they said, oh, we're actually looking for a guy. So I spent the whole week, lost the money for this one spot. And then I later realized they weren't even looking for a female. At the same time, who knows, 2 years from then, they pull up my resume. You're always, you might build from that. You make a connection. At the same time,
I've lost income for a week. Yeah.
So,
and I wouldn't have minded if I was in the running, but I was never in the running in the first place.
Yeah, they just dismiss your time and.
Yeah, because it's they're like, well, if you want it bad enough, you'll do
industry.
it. Yeah, and it's in all industry. Like it's the same thing as like directing. As a director, you pitch on projects, you'll write treatments, and you don't hear back. And you're like, I wonder if I got that job. And then you see that, I'm like, oh, that's the Nissan commercial I was put. It's already on TV. Like, and you're just. That's
competitive.
Yeah.
It's cutthroat.
Same. Yeah. All the time. What got you into dance as a child?
So my mom was a dancer.
Oh, okay. Ballet as well?
Contemporary ballet, not professional, kind of semi-professional. And I did a lot of sports and athletics growing up.
What other sports did you do?
So I did it all. I did swimming, I did soccer, football, lacrosse. Yeah, so from Northeast.
That's intense, lacrosse.
It was huge, yeah.
Okay.
So every season I was in some sort of sport. I did track and field. I guess maybe the neighborhood, the area I grew up, the U.S., it's very big and accessible. And then I tried dance, and we had a magnet, so like an elective middle school. So it was like a public school, but you had to audition to get in.
Yeah.
So I auditioned. So from the age of, say, 9, I was doing dance during school.
Okay.
And then after middle school, high school or secondary school, again, I went to an arts school.
Okay.
So not only did I have training after school, but during school. So it's pretty intense from a young age.
That is intense. What kind of music did you like? Then was it? Were you into classical music? Because ballet is normally classical.
Actually, it was like the punk rock era.
Okay.
I was, definitely not classical.
What is? I'm really bad with music because I was just hip hop. But is that like Pearl Jam and Nirvana and stuff?
And No Doubt. I had a Gwen Stefani. I had the pink hair.
Yeah.
So definitely not classical.
No, okay. Because you don't really. Actually, I saw one ballet, and it was Take Me to Church song. There was the gentleman there was the ballet dancer, and he was dancing in like that was the only time I can remember ballet happening not classical. Yeah, it's really cool.
Practicing we always had like a live pianist, which was cool. In class and practices, but. The original classics, of course, are more classical music, but then now there's so many contemporary companies that are using, contemporary rock and pop songs, and so all kinds of music.
And like there's a lot of different activities, exercises, and it's a strain on the body. How did you get any? You must have got injuries.
Nothing major.
Oh wow, lucky. Okay.
Yeah, knock on wood. I, yeah, I've never really had any major. You know, I
The toes.
oh, my feet were terrible. The point shoes that you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
intense. So, but besides that, yeah, luckily I never really had anything major.
Wow. Okay. But do the ballerines actually like stand on their toes?
It's how the shoe, they're point shoes, so it's how
Yeah.
they're made. It's the box is wooden.
Yeah.
And it's kind of square.
Yeah.
So you are balancing kind of on the tips of your toes. And then inside, we would put like sometimes just like a paper towel or some sort of like cushion.
But you still need power in your.
You build up the calluses, but similar to spinning, I guess, where you have to use your core to kind of
Yeah.
lift out of the seat. You have to use your core strength, so you're
Yeah.
not just kind of pounding on your feet, but you're lifted.
I, c-
It's tough.
yeah, I can get out of a seat on a bike, but I couldn't. I don't have the core strength
It's-
for that.
No, it's hard.
Okay. So would you say that your mom was like like when you were growing up? So like in terms of like I say idols and people you looked up to in terms of dance and things. Was your mom and was someone you looked up to in that regard, or did you have someone else?
My parents were always very supportive, and honestly, they never pushed too hard, which, I mean, now as a parent myself, I think is good or bad. You hear about a lot of these athletes and professional artists, their parents were super intense, which sometimes is a good thing or a bad thing. My
Yeah.
parents were very chill and just wanted me to like do what made me happy. So
Okay.
that was great. But I don't know. There were a lot of girls my age that I was friends with also doing dance, so it was kind of like the thing to do.
Okay.
But mentor-wise, I had a bunch of really great teachers, supportive teachers,
Okay.
but that's about it.
Who was like that? I mean, like who was someone that you looked up to in terms of like famous people in terms of dance that was like you like I want to be like this person?
Well, now, I don't know if you know Misty Copeland.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's incredible.
I know her because she's an Under Armour athlete, I think, first. And then I was like, oh my God, then I saw how insane she is.
Yeah, she's so talented. But I loved New York City Ballet,
Okay.
New York City Ballet dancers.
Yeah.
And Merce Cunningham was also a company. It's a contemporary dance company that I was striving to be in as well. So,
Was it also in New York?
yes,
Okay.
all the heavy hitters are.
Is that New York the haven or like the place to go to for ballet?
Back in the day,
Yeah.
it was. Now it's definitely spread out. I don't know much about European dance companies, but in the U.S., every major city has a fantastic dance company. New York still seems to be the top.
Okay. And you have a daughter.
Yes.
Do you want her to do ballet? Would that be something you like, and you'd push her towards maybe?
I mean, I think I'll put her in the classes
Yeah.
just because it'll be cute.
Yeah.
I'll see if she's into it. But again, you see how even really talented people, their parents can kind of drive them away from it, from being so overbearing.
Yeah.
So my boys are a bit older. Even with them with sports, it's kind of like only if they're enjoying it.
Okay.
I do make sure, though, that if they sign up for it, then they finish the term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so they kind of see that commitment when you start something. But I would never push them to do something they didn't want to do. So with Talia, she's only 2 now. We'll
Okay.
see.
A bit early,
It's
but
cute. You can start as early as 3, I've asked. Even just the tutu would be cute. But
for Halloween, she can be
Let's
she
see.
can dress up as a ballerina.
she was a ballerina rabbit yesterday, actually. I'll show you a picture. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved. I did have thoughts of my son like being like a golfer or a tennis player, like just for my retirement plan.
Yeah, there are
Because-
perks.
Yeah.
For sure.
But there's a lot of effort you need to put into it until they make it to that. Because like you have to be the driving force at the beginning, and then see if they get into it, and then if they like it, then they can continue. Then you support them. But it's it's not even the 1% anymore. It's like the point something percent that make it in golf, tennis.
There's so many components. There has to be natural ability, there has to be the drive and the
Yeah.
dedication, and then, the parents and the resources. So everything has to kind of align.
Because like I grew up loving tennis and a big fan of Andre Agassi, and then I read his book, and in his book he says he hates tennis. He hated tennis as a child. He's always hated tennis. It's like his dad forced him to play tennis to the point where it was his dad's dream for one of his children to be a tennis player, and he has, I think, older sister and older brother, and he forced them, and then they never made it, and Andre was his last hope, and he said he had this story where he would make him come home and hit like 4,000 balls or 1,000 balls every day from this iron dragon, he called it. It just used to fire. It was like a machine that just launched balls, and he hated it. And he did it, started when he was 4 years old, and he became, best in the world, #1, won all these Grand Slams, but he hated tennis. But now
Now hopefully he likes it.
And now he's
or the
moved
money he makes.
Yeah, well now, and then he married Steffi Graf, and and their kids, none of them play. I don't think they play tennis. One's like a baseball player, but no, they're into pickleball. I don't know what that is. It's a different type of. It's like paddle. I don't know what it is either. It's like a cross between tennis and squash, and I don't play. So, okay. What were your biggest fears? So your biggest dream, I guess, as a child was that you wanted to be a professional ballet dancer. What were your biggest fears growing up?
I guess at the same time, not becoming.
Okay.
I was so dedicated, especially in high school, every day, during school, after school, on the weekends. I was kind of putting all of my eggs into one basket, sort of thing. And going to university for dance, it's pretty limiting.
Yeah.
I started at a conservatory, but then transferred to a more liberal arts education, so more well-rounded.
What's a conservatory?
Conservatory basically is just a training ground.
Okay.
So it was pretty competitive to get in, and there wasn't much focus at all on academics.
Okay.
So when you graduate, you pretty much have to either be a dancer or a dance teacher.
Okay.
Your degree doesn't really mean much. And then with liberal arts, I was studying the maths and the sciences, and I did a grant writing course as well, like a double major. So just dedicating so much time and energy and then deciding to go to university for dance, it was like, I hope this works out for me because I don't have a degree that would allow for more opportunities.
And everyone's doing it, right? So when you say dancing, so everyone in your class wants to be a dancer, professional dancer. So you're competing against your peers and
always, every day, it's auditioning for these roles or these spots.
So you see your classmates in class and then in auditions as well. So
that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, bunch of 18-year-old girls. Gets a bit.
I was gonna say,
intense.
that would be because that doesn't. It's not a good environment for friendship, I'd say. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
This is life, though, right? I mean, even in the office, you're competing for that promotion or that. I think it helps you to really see who your true friends are. If they're going to backstab you or if you're going to support each other. But especially growing up, it's a quick way to learn these life lessons, but it's not easy as like a young adult trying to like find your way, figure out yourself, and then being constantly put up under scrutiny and competition, and it's pretty tough.
Yeah. What was the best advice someone gave you during that time, like one of your mentors?
That's a good question. I don't know. I guess, just to trust yourself and believe in yourself. And if this is something that you really want and you're honest about it, then, it's going to work out.
Okay.
Don't try to be someone you're not.
So a lot of your focus is around, it's going to be so corny, but it's because I grew up watching it. But I'm going to say a lot of your focus is around dance, and you were training, you're saying and you put all your eggs in the basket and that. But when you had spare time, I'm a big TV guy, TV shows and things like that. And I was just thinking, did you watch Fame growing up?
I actually didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
Other musicals, for sure.
What did you like? What were your TV shows or musicals that you used to like when you were growing up?
Musicals, I mean, Rent was very big. I don't know if you know Rent.
I didn't know it was yeah, I know, I didn't see it, so I know it was on
Yeah.
Broadway. Yeah.
So growing up in Baltimore, I was only about a 3-hour drive from New York City.
Yeah.
So I would go pretty often.
To Broadway.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
amazing.
loved Aida, Lion King,
Yeah, I love
Phantom
Lion
of the
King.
Opera, all the heavy
I worked on
hitters.
Phantom of the Opera.
Really?
Yeah, the film.
It's an amazing, show.
Yeah, yeah.
So being able to go to New York and see either dance performances or musicals pretty often was
What was the one that you? What's the one that's like the?
stand out.
Yeah, and that you would have that you liked as your favorite, and if that's the one you wanted to be in, then that's one. What was the one that you wanted to be in?
I was never much of a singer, so
Okay.
that kind of counts me out. I love Chorus Line though. Chorus
They did a
Line.
movie with that, right?
A
Wasn't it?
movie is
Yeah.
most of the major musicals have become movies
yeah.
now, but Chorus Line goes through several different performers auditioning for a show.
Okay.
So it's relatable as a performer, but then
Yeah.
also the singing, the dancing, the acting in it is amazing. So
I have this thing for Les Miserables. It's just something about it I just love.
the music is amazing.
Yeah, the film. I've seen both films, and I went and saw I went to the opera. It was Dubai Opera. I saw it there. I love it. There's like when he's like the Jean Valjean, like something about it I just really really like.
Yeah, no, I grew up watching musicals.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
West Side Story, that's another
Did you
good
watch that
one.
one?
I
you
did.
Yeah, yeah. I saw it. That's fantastic. That
Yeah,
was
the dance.
I haven't seen the film, but the opera, the I saw it at the theater, at the opera house. That was amazing.
I was actually in it in high school. I was
Oh,
a jet
really?
girl.
Really? So then, when you were growing up, like, what was the rage like? Like, what would you wear? Was it just always like sports, dance, ready to dance, like outfits?
I
Or
mean,
punk.
as I mentioned, I was trying to be a little punk rocker and
Dr.
dancer at
Martens
the
and stuff.
same
Was that a
time.
thing?
Yeah,
Was that a thing in America?
it was.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Adidas, like the Sambas.
Okay.
Those
Yeah.
still cool.
Yeah.
But
Classics.
dance was ballet's very strict. Black leotard, pink tights,
Oh, really?
hair in a bun, no dirt, no holes, like very clean cut. So that was rehearsing. And then my wide leg jeans and my
Did you have like
Sneakers.
the chain with the wallet and stuff like that?
Jinkos.
Is that what they call it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah, I tried.
and
It's all coming back now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can pull it off.
Oh yeah, so I was talking about your fears. So that was your fears then, and
Mm.
your dreams then. What are your dreams and fears now? What's your dream now?
Honestly, I feel pretty satisfied right now. You know,
Very seldom people say that. Which is
Yeah.
a very good thing. It's a very good thing.
I've gone back and forth because January will be 4 years of Barre Effect.
Really?
And yeah, it's flown by.
Yes.
And our studio in Safa does really well, and I have a pretty large team. So I've considered opening a second studio in Dubai. But honestly, I find Barre Effect to be a little gem, and it's working.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm able to find the balance with family and work. And I think if I expand, that might shift things in a way that I feel a bit too stretched.
Because now it's like a beautiful boutique kind of studio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm just going to keep the one studio and just make sure it's the best I can make it. And besides that, yeah, I want to travel more. There's still so many places I've never been. Right now, having 3 young kids, it's not really the time. But this is definitely a goal and a dream of mine. Maybe when they're a bit older, I don't know.
Where's the place you want to go to?
I haven't explored
Without
Asia.
the kids.
Yeah.
Where would you go without the kids, and where would you go with the kids?
You
They're,
know,
they're too young to see this, so it's fine. You can say whatever you like.
yeah, they with them it has to be a resort where they're like running around. But still, I've never been like to Japan. I've never
too,
been to Australia. So these are like major.
Kangaroos are a real thing there in Australia. It's not even a joke.
I gotta see them. New Zealand. There's a whole other side of the world I've never been to.
Where's your favorite place that you travel to or have traveled to?
So my husband proposed and we got married in Ibiza. in Spain.
Nice.
So that's
The
our
party side or the retreat side?
party side. That's our favorite place to go.
Okay.
Just the beaches are amazing, the food, the people, the house music.
Okay.
So often, well, not often, once a year, my husband and I try to go. Just
Okay.
us.
Just you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just a little break away from the
How long were
kids.
you together before you got married, before he proposed?
1 year.
Oh, nice.
So I moved to Dubai. I met him a year later.
Yeah.
And then he proposed the next year.
Wow. Okay.
So it's pretty quick.
How'd you meet?
Through a client at my old studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was training her and she knew I was single and she put us on a blind date.
Blind date. No apps, nothing like that. Just so here you go, this person.
You never know. Gotta be open.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. So what would be your biggest fear?
Now, probably something to do with my kids, just like
makes
the
sense.
health or safety of the kids.
Yeah.
You know, you just never know. So yeah, I'm blessed and I feel grateful to live in UAE where it's like so safe and such a great place to raise kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think something for them probably.
And then do you see yourself retiring here or moving back to
I have no
the
idea.
States or Ibiza?
I mean, that would be fun. I really have no idea. Yeah, we're just kind of living it up here. My husband's from Lebanon. I'm from the U.S. So this is a good place for both of us
Makes
to be
sense.
right now.
Do you go back to the States much?
Every summer,
Every summer?
we go back. My whole family's there.
To Maryland?
Yeah.
Maryland is famous for the crabs, right?
Yes,
Maryland crabs?
steamed crabs.
Steamed crabs, that's right.
It's good.
Is it, what's, Annapolis? Is that where it's from? Oh, no, it's all over.
Yeah, Annapolis is the capital.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour from where I grew up.
Okay,
Have you seen Wedding Crashers?
yeah,
That's Annapolis.
okay.
So yeah, lacrosse and crabs, and this is what Maryland does.
Is that your favorite food, would you say?
When I'm
or-
back home, it's good. They're
Right.
steamed and it's messy, and you have a beer, and it's
What's your go-to junk food, relaxation, comfort food? What's your go-to?
I love sushi. It's not really a junk food.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
like
really
my
sushi.
cuisine.
Okay,
But I love chocolate.
really?
Oh yeah, I love a
American,
sweet.
not American chocolate though. I got this. I'm probably gonna annoy people, but like, cause like in England we have like Cadbury's over Hershey's any day.
I
Sorry.
mean, but I'm talking like brownies, chocolate chip cookies, like the real
okay,
deal.
the real stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So I have a sweet tooth for sure.
All right. Do you bake yourself?
Kind of.
Where's like your favorite cookie then, or brownie?
Home Bakery has a really good chocolate chip cookie.
And that's where you go for chocolate chip cookie.
That's good, yeah. But yeah, they're hard to mess up, so it's fun to make with the kids.
And that's your favorite dessert, you'd say?
It's a hard question. Well, Thanksgiving's coming up. Pumpkin
Yes.
pie, can't go wrong, right?
True.
Pumpkin pie, pecan pie. So
I'm cheesecake though all day.
yeah.
I can't like.
What about rice pudding? This is number one.
I hate rice pudding. It's the most disgusting thing in the world for me.
So what's the name for?
The name is because I can't stand rice pudding. It's my biggest block in life growing
Oh.
up. Because my dad, so rice pudding actually signifies my dad's way of parenting.
Okay.
I hated rice pudding, so my dad would force me to have rice pudding. That's why I call this show the Rice Pudding Project, because it's overcoming problems, issues, fears, obstacles in life. And one of my obstacles was, the rice pudding and the way my dad parented, because my dad raised me. So it was like he was a tough individual. So it was like, why not call it the Rice Pudding Project? And one day I'll eat rice pudding and maybe be okay with it. And the thing is, I love rice, and I love pudding, and I love milk, but put them together and heat them up, and I can't.
I don't think I've had rice pudding before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had Ali?
No.
Yeah, the Lebanese, I think the Arabic dessert. I can't. It's I don't know. For me, it's just like the heat of it. Like I don't know. Like I can't have hot milk either.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing, because it's something about the cream on. That layer of cream. I
Yeah,
just can't.
it's kinda
Like
gross.
even with hot chocolate, I can't do it. I need for me, I have hot chocolate with water. That's the way, or just not at all. But it's weird. But I love cappuccinos.
Yeah.
I'll have a latte. I'll have a flat white. No problem. But rice pudding, I can't stand it at all.
Cool.
On food topic, what's your favorite food? If you were on death row and you had a final meal, I guess you're going to say sushi, but would it be?
I feel I have to think of something better than that.
Yeah. This is your final meal. You have to think about it.
I love a good steak. A really good
What type?
medium ribeye with a good spicy mustard.
Okay.
And I love vegetables.
What type of
weird.
vegetables? Don't say courgettes.
Like Brussels sprouts, broccoli.
Yeah. Okay. Steak and vegetables.
It's
Fair enough.
kind of basic, but it's okay. Big glass of wine.
What type of wine? Red or white?
Red with steak for sure.
Yeah, but what type of red?
Probably
Italian,
like
French.
Pinot Noir.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you need to go
not
to New
too
Zealand.
heavy. Yeah.
New Zealand has really good Pinot Noir. I think it's from Marlborough, Dairy Marlborough, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, I'm a fan of Pinot Noir. So what was your most memorable experience as a dancer?
Probably that audition for the company was called Momix. That I auditioned. It's one of the top contemporary companies that I auditioned for 5 days, and I was so close. My whole life was about to change. They were doing a tour in China for like a month, and then the 5th day being the top 8. So kind of like riding that roller coaster was a pretty big experience. Also, the Rocket, I made it past the first audition where they cut down half of the 500 girls. So even that, you know, you get so excited and then just like that, they don't call your number and it's all over.
And to get to be one of those 500, you have to. It's not like anyone can apply. It's not like American Idol where you just line up and you have to. So there's
with Rockettes, it's like American Idol.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah, people fly in from like all
But
over
it's
the
more
country.
more than 500 people try, and they've cut it down to 500, or it's just.
I don't know. The line's just wrapping around the New
And you
York
start
City
5
blocks.
a.m. You start lining up.
Out there, full makeup, full hair, ready to go. It's pretty crazy. For 15 seconds, 20 seconds of what you can show.
Literally, that's it.
It's quick, super quick. They know a lot of it is typecasting. So even just when you walk in the room, if your body type, if you're too tall, too short, your hair color, they already know what they're looking for. So
Can't they say it beforehand that we want brunette, blonde, redhead?
yeah, but then if there's that amazing person that walks in that's a blonde instead of brunette, they'll probably figure it out. But in general, they already know who they're replacing or, you know.
And if they find
what
someone
they're
that's
looking
really
for.
good, they're like, oh, let's replace this person anyway because this person's so much
Or
better.
they just have the resume on file, and then that girl goes on maternity, or that girl sprains her ankle. Oh, remember that tall blonde that was good? Let's call her. So you never know, but most of the time you're just cut. Yeah, it's life.
So what do you currently enjoy about your life? Like, what do you like to do? Because you have your kids, you have your company. What do you like to do for you? Because that's important. Is there's time for you?
It is, and recently I'm discovering more and more that I have to kind of find that time for myself. The kids are 7, 5, and 2. So it's a pretty intense age. My husband's also very busy with work. He's traveling right now. So finding time for myself can be challenging. I love working out. And I always joke because the studio Barre Effect is very close to my house. So I say that I started Barre Effect because I wanted a studio to be able to go to.
Yeah.
And so I feel grateful that when I go to work, I connect with the clients, I see the instructors, I take class, I get to work out.
Yeah.
And it's just all kind of building that community. So I try to make sure I have an hour each day for myself to exercise, whether it's at Barre Effect or at yoga, or I spin as well sometimes.
Okay.
So I just need that time for me.
Do you ever feel down?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, because I've seen you and you're a happy person.
Yeah.
You know, but people don't know, like,
Yeah.
it's like, Instagram versus reality and things like that.
Of course.
What do you do?
I try my best. No one's perfect, including myself. as I said, my husband's very busy with work, but at the same time, when he can be there, he is, and when it's important, it is. So we do try to share responsibilities in that way as much as we can. I'm honest with my kids. I try my best, of course, to have patience with them and, understanding, but I'll let them know if, I'm not having a good day today, and just for them to understand too that, we're all human and we all have our ups and downs. I think what helps me though is it's very grounding just to take a moment and pause, call it meditation, but when you realize that a lot of these small stuff don't really matter, and someone pissed me off or I'm feeling low, but at the end of the day, we really have so much to be grateful and thankful for. So it's easy for me to kind of snap out of that.
Okay.
Also,
do you meditate?
I do. Yeah, I try to practice yoga, breathing exercises, and I really believe in it just to try to pause and be in the moment. Living in a big city, I was in New York before, now being in Dubai, it actually helps me with any sort of like anxiety or, if I'm feeling low, just to take a moment and look around to see how busy it is, how many people are here, and realize that everyone has something going on. Just to remind myself, my issues are so small and insignificant. Everyone else is just trying their best to get on. So it actually helps me to be in a busy place and surrounded with other people that are also kind of like living in the grind, because we're all doing it together.
Yeah, true. But it's just having that moment of clarity when you do dip, because it's very easy just to dip and just to stay and just to wallow in that.
I love coffee. I say coffee's like my cigarette. Like people take a cigarette break. I sometimes just need to get a really hot coffee and just take a moment and breathe, and like I really enjoy.
What type of coffee?
Americano.
Okay,
Little
just
milk.
straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to avoid all the sugary stuff.
No sugar, honey, anything like that?
Little milk, but I wake up early and then I'm running around or exercising all day. So.
What time does your day start normally?
6.
Okay.
The kids wake up between 6:30. I mean, as you know, school is pretty early, and just to get everyone fed and dressed and out the door. So around 6, 7 days a week.
Yeah, no lions. Yeah.
This is what holiday's for. But no, my kids, well, at least one kid is in our bed every night. Every night. It's like musical beds. We take him back, and then I end up sleeping in his room, and then my husband. So
They just come in for whatever reason.
yeah, well, my middle son, ever since my youngest, my third, was born,
Wants more attention.
he's been coming to our bed every night without fail.
Okay.
I'm okay. My husband's away now, and I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, but my husband can't deal with it. So he ends up carrying the 17, 18 kg kid back to his bed. And then he comes back, and then he decides just to sleep in his bed, and then I wake up and I don't know where anyone is. So I haven't really had like solid sleep for this is mom life.
Are you having more, or
No,
how did you have them? You had them all here?
all 3 in Dubai.
All
Yeah,
right.
3 is a handful for sure. Especially when I like to leave the house. I like to do things.
Yeah.
But, we had to get another car. Obviously, staying in hotels now is a bit more challenging because you can't really have 3 kids and 2 adults in one room.
Yeah, you need to get like the suite.
The flights to the U.S. are not cheap. So 3 kind of takes you over the edge a bit. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, of course not. But it's challenging, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's have you been camping yet?
I'm not a camper. No. I think you guys are.
No, we tried it. We tried it this summer for the first time in a camper van, and it was an interesting experience. And I did like it, but that's as far as I'm going.
Camper van, well, I went to Burning Man. So
But you were in a camper van?
Yeah, I was
like
in an RV.
Yeah.
RV, yeah.
With toilets and stuff inside the RV?
yeah, and our
Yeah.
camp had like a shower and
Yeah,
toilet.
I don't
so.
want toilets in inside the RV. I want it all to be outside.
By the end of the week, it was.
Pick one of these cans, any
Okay.
can you like, and there's a question in here.
Tell a story of a disgusting habit. Come on. Okay, I wouldn't say it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But, we have an obsession with pinkberry. So I think this is pretty
That's pretty,
easy to talk about. But
Yes.
yeah, we order on Deliveroo pinkberry
Love it.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I actually have to go back and make sure I haven't ordered it like too many times in the week.
Why?
I can't
Like
order it
calories?
5 times. Literally, we would order it every night.
For you and your husband or for the whole
No,
family?
no. Just once the
You
kids
know-
are asleep, Netflix on, and then they come out and we have to kind of like hide it from them because they're like, why are you eating ice cream? So yeah, I have to, whenever I'm eating something, the kids always have to have a bite. The kids will have like 5 pizzas and yogurts and
they want
this,
some of
and
your-
I'll have a protein bar.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, Mommy, I want a bite. This is mine.
Yeah.
So anyway, our pinkberry obsession is it's pretty disgusting how often we order it. So
If you had to meet and hang out with 3 other people, dead or alive, people you know or you don't know, who would they be and why?
So, well, my mom passed away actually 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I would hang out with her. I feel like
Okay.
that's just someone that,
Of course, understandable.
she would like meet my kids and
Did she meet
no, she didn't meet anyone.
none of them?
None. So
Okay.
that's definitely someone that I would pull into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Going back, probably with my mom also, I used to love watching I Love Lucy growing up.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball. She was definitely like someone I looked up to, and she was also pretty revolutionary for like women in film and TV. And
Big time.
so, yeah, I feel like it'd be cool to meet her.
Yeah.
And then, let me see, one more person. I don't know, I guess maybe like some really cool DJ that could just like DJ the whole situation.
House DJ?
Yeah, I love house.
Who's your favorite house DJ?
I love Black Coffee.
Black Coffee?
Yeah, he's coming
Okay.
here in December. I love Nora on Pure.
Okay.
So yeah, my mom, Lucille Ball, and a house
And
DJ.
a house DJ.
We'd all hang.
Where would you hang out?
I don't know, have pinkberry somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. My like ideal day, I love being at the beach.
Okay.
So I think because my week and my work and my life is so busy, when I do get that time to just like literally chill on the beach, read a book or have a drink or just listen to music. And so
Nice.
love just a beach day.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. Anything you want to say or ask or before we go?
No, I'm really excited to
Okay.
hear your other rice pudding project.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That was cool.